الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد. My name is Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Abualrub. Allah blessed me and my family to produce more than 70 books about Islam so far. All thanks to Allah. Thousands of articles and hundreds of videos. We have a website, islamlife.com. Islamlife.com. We'll talk about it and about one of our books soon, inshallah, Allah willing. Let's start with this. You see it? You know what this is? We'll talk about the map again soon, inshallah. This is Greater Israel. A few weeks ago, Tucker Carlson, who used to work with Fox, who's lately been discovering the impact Israel and the APACs are having on the well-being of America. He traveled to Israel and met Mike Huckabee, the U.S. ambassador to Israel. They discussed a number of issues. Today, let's talk about one of them, especially about the book in the Old Testament, Genesis. So the discussion about Genesis concentrated on the concept of Greater Israel. You saw the map. Tucker Carlson said to Mike Huckabee that he read Genesis, Tucker Carlson, and that it means that God gave the entire Middle East to the Jews, Israelites. And Mike Huckabee said, it would be fine if they, the Jews, took it, the Middle East, all. Now, Mike Huckabee is a Christian reverend, the father of Sarah, they call it Sarah Huckabee. She learned with her father. She lied about anything and everything, all the way until she left the Trump administration to become a governor somewhere. And she continued the path. Her father, Huckabee, now with a beard, is acting like this is his greatest opportunity in life, to be with the Jews in Israel. He was meeting rabbis and discussing things with them. And then he said, it would be fine if they took it all. Genesis. Two Christians. The Old Testament. The Christians believe the Old Testament was revealed, inspired by God, Allah. Isa, Jesus, the blessings of Allah on him and his mother, used to call Allah Elohim, no God. The word God wasn't used at that time. Uh, Eli, Elohim. Uh, what about Genesis? I'm guessing since Fox is the representative of Christian evangelicals in America, you know, the white ones, and Huckabee is one of them, the evangelicals. He thinks he's white. I would think that they actually read just this book, Genesis, about this topic. So Tucker Carlson, he was correct in telling Huckabee this means the entire Middle East. Let me show you again. See? The entire Middle East. You see it? From the, where am I now? From the Nile, it's the other direction, to the Euphrates, and look at the area there. Now, this line, I'm not sure how it got there. I mean, anyway, well, Egypt, a third of Saudi of today, so close to Mecca and Medina. And then you have all this area, Jordan, Lebanon, a half of Iraq, maybe a half or more of Syria, a part of Turkey. Take it all. I studied the Bible in Arabic, not Arabic, Arabic. We don't have Arabic. It's Arabic and English many times for many years. And I like to make research. See, if this is an important topic to the Jews, and it is, has been for a long time, at least let me study their evidence that God gave them the Middle East. See? So, I'm not going to read from the screen today. I'm just going to read from this paper. See? KJV. KJV. It's difficult for me to say the KJV. King James Version of the Bible, Genesis 15:18. This is what Carlson was talking about with Huckabee. 15:18. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, من الفرات إلى النيل. NIV, the New International Version of the Bible, they use today's English without the these and thys and whatever. Genesis 15:18. On that day, the Lord, capital letters, made a covenant with Abram and said, to your descendants, thy seed, descendants, I give this land from the Wadi of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates. actually, the Nile is much greater than the Euphrates. Who's counting the distance? Arabic Bible, Smith and Van Dyke, Arabic Genesis 15:18. في ذلك اليوم قطع الرب مع أبرام ميثاقا قائلا لنسلك أعطي هذه الأرض من نهر مصر إلى النهر الكبير نهر الفرات. So far, so good to the Jews and the Christians, because this supports their idea that it's God who gave this land to the seed, the descendants, the nasl of Ibrahim, Ibrahim, alayhi salam. The blessings of Allah on him. We believe in him. And in his children, descendants, who were prophets. We believe in all of them. So, this is it. Isn't it? This is the proof. Right? It says God gave all this land from the Wadi. See the Wadi here? Okay. How can I go? This way. I got it. The Wadi of Egypt. This is the Nile. Let's say 60, 70 million Egyptians are living in this area. You have this here. You have a lot of desert here. Of course, you have Palestine, Sinai, Urdun, Jordan, Lebanon, much of Iraq, much of Syria, a part of Turkey, maybe around 30, 40 million people living here. So about 100 million people live in this area. Now this line, I don't know, the Emirates and Qatar are safe for now. They're not inside there. So you might say, well, this is it. This is the proof. Well, let's read KJV. Stuff for me too. KJV. Okay. Genesis 16:3. And Sarai, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, Sarah, Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan. You know the land of Canaan. Palestine. And gave her to her husband Abraham to be his wife. To be his wife. Wife. I'm sure it is WIFE. Wife. NIV Genesis 16:3. So after Abram had been living in Canaan 10 years, Sarai, his wife, took her Egyptian slave Hagar and gave her to her husband to be his wife. Wife again. Smith and Van Dyke, Arabic, Genesis 16:3. فأخذت ساراي امرأة أبرام هاجر المصرية جاريتها من بعد 10 سنين لإقامة أبرام في أرض كنعان، وأعطتها لأبرام رجلها زوجة له. Wife, and I mentioned it 3 times with the spelling. Wife, زوجة. Hagar, Hagar, gave birth to Ismail, Ishmael, alayhi salam, the blessings of Allah on him, who was 13 when Sarah, gave birth to Ishaq, Isaac, alayhi salam. Therefore, Ishmael is Ibrahim's first born. He was 13 when Isaac was born, Ishaq. Uh, and the Jews insist that she was a slave according to their book, which they know very well. They wrote it with their own hands. It says wife. Let's suppose she was a slave also with Abraham. Still, Ismail is Ibrahim's first born. Ismail, the seed of Ibrahim, Ismail. Ishaq, Isaac, is the seed of Abraham, Ibrahim. We're still in the same book. Christians, Jews, read the book that you wrote. Really. I mean, so Carlson did not discuss this part. That was extremely important in his discussion because Carlson mentioned something that I've been saying for decades. So they claim that this land is ours. God gave it to us. We are the seed of Abraham, and God gave it to us. Give it to us. Being the seed of Abraham. They've been saying this since the beginning. Almost saying, hey, here is the title to the land. You see, it's from God. It's signed by Abraham. See his signature here? So this is ours. Genesis. The proof. They read this. Really? Did they read Genesis 17:4? Again, KJV. Genesis 17:4. The Lord is saying to Abraham, and I, meaning God, the Almighty, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. You see, they use this too, but they don't analyze. They don't need to. NIV, Genesis 17:4, the whole land of Canaan, where you now reside as a foreigner, an alien, I will give as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God. Smith and Van Dyke Arabi, Genesis 17:4, وأعطي لك ولنسلك من بعدك أرض غربتك كل أرض كنعان ملكا أبديا. Everlasting possession. Everlasting possession. ملكا أبديا. Carlson should have discussed this. Okay. You see, when he was discussing with Huckabee the fact that what this means, that the seed of Abraham, the Israelites, are entitled to all of the Middle East by God. It's written in their books. It's a fact. So he said, DNA test. This is what I've been saying for decades. Okay, nobody's listening. Carlson is more famous than I am, and I don't care much about fame except to deliver the message. DNA testing. You say you're Israelites, and they won't do it. Why? Because they know for a fact, as much as they know for a fact, that in the book they wrote with their hands and ascribed to God, that maybe most of the Jews of today are not Israelites. If you insist, test the DNA. Let's get it over with. Let's finish this topic for now. But hey, analysis. We need to analyze. Analysis. In Arabic, tahleel. I'm going to be doing tahleel today. Not tahleel dam. I am an Arab from the descendants of Ismail. The Arab people, Arabs they call them, are descendants of Ismail, who married and had numerous descendants with the Arab tribes during his time, and therefore the Arabs of today, the blood of Ismail, the seed of Ibrahim is in them. Whether the Jews like it or don't like it, and whether the Christians like it or don't like it. So what's the analysis? The tahleel. Keywords. Everlasting possession. Everlasting possession. Mulkan abadiyya. Mulkan abadiyya. That's it. Abadiyya, forever. Let's talk. First, I need you to make tahleel, examine this book. Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad, the 3rd edition. 400 pages of comparison between the rulings of warfare found in the Old Testament, the Jews, the New Testament, the Christians, and the Quran, and Prophet Muhammad's Sunnah practices. Very important. You will find it on our website, islamlife.com. islamlife.com. Next video, inshallah, Allah willing, because I can't make this too long, so we can divide it. I have suggestions on how the Jews can make this a reality. They say this is from God. Really? Okay. The year 7071 AD, the Romans, idol worshippers at the time, expelled, in Arabic طردوا, the Jews who were Israelites at the time from Palestine, to everywhere else except Palestine. And especially in Europe, multitudes of Jews lived a horrible life, especially after the Europeans, the Romans, became Christian. And they accused them of killing their God and Savior. And they've been killing them and killing them and killing them, all the way to the 6 million Jews killed slogan the Jews and Christians have been given us. Let's say 6 million. If you're in France, don't say 5,999,999 because they might put you in jail for denying what the Christians did. We didn't do it. I had no idea what was happening. I was born after that. Palestinians did not participate in that. The Muslims didn't. Arab Christians, especially those who live in Palestine, had nothing to do with it. It's European Christians who did that. And to pay for their crimes, they gave Palestine to the Jews and say, hey, it's yours. So 70, 71 AD all the way to the 1900s, give or take a few years. I wish to take them all, but it's history. I can't change it. So from 70, 71 AD to the 1900s, the Jews did not, لم in Arabic, live يعيشوا in في Palestine. They didn't live there for how many centuries? About 18 centuries? If this is true, that God gave them the Middle East, especially Palestine, forever, then it's a lie. It's a lie. It is a lie, كذب in Arabic. They didn't live there for 18 centuries. Which culture in the world, any language, understands from everlasting that it means forever minus 18 centuries, right? It's in their book. The same slogan they use to say it's ours says to them, you're liars. Did God break his promise? Come on. He said everlasting. You didn't live there for more than 18 centuries. Like 1800 years? About. You had no ties to Palestine, never lived there, didn't own anything, didn't travel there, didn't visit there, especially those who lived in Europe in the most miserable conditions, really, being treated by the kind-hearted, nice Christians. You killed our God, which makes the Jews greater than God. They killed God. The Christians, they're not thinking about it. Hey, you killed our God. Okay, we tried. We couldn't finish them off. Go to Palestine. You see the book that they wrote with their own hands in Babylon when they were slaves, angry and bitter, even at God and everybody else and their prophets, and they wrote the most destructive ideas, terroristic commandments in any book, really, in history. It is the book of terrorism. I'm going to prove it from their books, from the Old Testament, really. Come to the next video, inshallah, Allah willing. So, if God said this, and they believe that, how can they justify the 1800 years that they didn't live there? So forever is a lie. If they believe that it is true, then who lived in Palestine to make this forever continuous? Starting with the Jews and the descendants of Ismail. Then the Jews were expelled. The children of Ishmael, the seed of Abraham, according to your book, continued living there until the Jews came back, until the Jews, the Israelites among the Jews, let me say this, came back, because test the DNA, you will find out that many of these people came from Russia. They're not Israelites. Who are you kidding? If you say they are, we have black people, brown people, yellow people, white people. They all became Israelites, participating in the killing of Palestinians. See? Until they came back, in between the expulsion to the coming back, 18 centuries, forever continued by the children of Ishmael. If they agree with that, it means they agree that the Arabs are the descendants of Abraham, descendants of Ishmael, and that the prophecy continued with them. The Arabs became Muslim, and Palestine and the Middle East, whoever said Middle East, the Brits, they did good everywhere they went, the Brits. So the Middle East belongs to Muslims. They're the ones who made the prophecy continue in truth. Okay? But they came back, the Israelites among them, I don't know, 10%, 20%, 30%, prove it. So they said, hey, this is all ours forever. But you haven't been living here for 18 centuries. We have. No. You're not the seed of Abraham. Then it is a lie. Right? You can't have it both ways. Forever, it's a lie, because the Jews wrote the Old Testament with their own hands and ascribed it to Allah. Do you really believe, you Christians who read this book, that you are more righteous than Dawood, the prophet, praised in the Quran by being a believer, would send somebody to the battlefield to die because he had committed adultery with his wife while that man was fighting, and then he sent him again to die so he can marry his widow after she becomes clean. Well, he had sex with her, and she gave birth to one of the ancestors of Jesus, Isa. You believe that? Really? And wait, Moses. What did Moses say? Lots of things. Coming in the next video. Summary. My name is Jalal Abualrub. IslamLife.com. Very important book. Evidence. We have footnotes here where we got what from, where. And we prove that the Old Testament is a fabricated book. Read it before you judge it. Read it. You will find the evidence from the same book itself, like here. Tucker Carlson should have read his book and think about, well, 2 out of 3 things he thought about them. Thank you, Tucker Carlson. You need to repent from the things you said about Islam, Muslims, and Palestinians when you were with Fox. But so far, the stance you're taking is becoming clear and clear, that you understand that Israel and the AIPACs are not good for America. They just drag America to another war. endless trouble everywhere they go. They're fighting everybody, attacking everybody with the weapons and the money, the technology of the West, not of the Jews. It's all West. Money, weapons, technology, intelligence, support, media, wars, the West. They are the daddy, and Israel is the baby. So Tucker Carlson, you should have read the same chapter you were talking about, and you said you read it. But, okay, three things. The whole Middle East, he said, take it all. You're right. It's the whole Middle East. About 100 million people live there. DNA, and Huckabee said, no, I have no idea what he said. Number three, forever. He should have started with forever. If you say this is theirs forever, 18 centuries, it's a lie. So I wanted to let you know about this topic. Next video, options on how the Israelites of today, maybe a minority, 10%, 20%, who knows, of the Jews can accomplish this in their dreams. But I have some other aspects of the Old Testament. I want you to listen to it. You make the analysis, the tahleel. Jalal Abualrub. There is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. And Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. And Adam, Noah, Ibrahim, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, Israel, and all the prophets in between Adam and Muhammad, Noah, I mentioned him. We believe in all of them as prophets from Allah. And if they delivered a promise from Allah, Allah keeps his promises. All thanks are due to Allah.